Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's video, I'm going to share 16 projects I created using the Expressions in Color Paper Pumpkin Kit, June 2021 by Stampin' Up. I created all of these projects with one kit. I'm going to show you what's inside some of the treat boxes. We'll make one of my alternative projects, and at the end of this video, I'm going to unbox a full paper pumpkin kit so you can get to see what's inside. If you become a subscriber to Paper Pumpkin, your first kit will not be until July 2021, and you wouldn't be getting this kit. The kits that we get are always a surprise. So it's really fun because when you get the surprise in the mail, you get your crafty mojo on. You can make the beautiful projects that they share here, or you can do alternatives like I do. Either way, it's a lot of fun. Only Paper Pumpkin subscribers are able to get the Paper Pumpkin refills. They are available probably on Monday, and I'm not sure yet. We never know whether the refills are available or not, but only Paper Pumpkin subscribers can get them. Right now, there are a lot of refills available to subscribers for past Paper Pumpkin kits. The instructions are different. If you're used to the old instructions, they're now in color, which is beautiful. And this is the way that the three projects were put together. So what I'm going to start out by doing is I'm going to just talk about the coordinating colors so you can get an idea of why I made these different design choices. Then I'm going to share the cards that look similar to the ones in the instructions. Okay, so let's start there. Then I'll stop in some point showing you how to make an alternative project. I'll go back to showing you my projects, open up what's in the boxes last. I like to show you the treats in there last before I unbox the paper pumpkin. Let's put it that way. So that's the plan, and I do this every month. So if you have other paper pumpkin kits you haven't dug into yet, please take them out and watch my videos and other videos on YouTube and get inspired by what you can do with these paper pumpkin kits. All right, the coordinating colors are Bumblebee, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, and Polished Pink. Now, if I sound like I'm yelling, it's because my phone, right? It's like it won't let me hook up an external microphone right now because I needed to use like a solar charger because it just it won't hold a charge lately. All right, so anyway, so I'm kind of using the internal microphone and I hope you can hear me okay. So here are the projects. So let's start with this. I don't even actually look at the instructions to keep it real. I just sort of go with my own thing. So for these, I thought right away when I saw there's 3 note cards and then 3 Bumblebee cards here and 3 sort of Fresh Freesia Polished Pink cards. These are full-size A2 cards and these 3 are note cards. So I took out the note card and I was like, that's not easy for me to read. There's not a lot of contrast with that vellum piece. The vellum piece was white. So what I did immediately, and because my ink spot was very juicy, now let me just open up this beautiful box for a second. I don't have really anything left here, but I can show you that there was an ink spot that was very juicy. And it was hard for me to stamp with this Bumblebee because it was just so juicy and it was hard to write the sentiment with it. So what I did is I just took my finger. Let's see if I have any vellum left. I only have the ones left in other languages because they came in German and French. Okay, so let's say, oh, here's a piece. So say that said thanks, which it says danke in German. I just took the Bumblebee on my fingers and I rubbed it all over the back of that. I thought that made it much easier to read and much better contrast between this Evening Evergreen, which really looks like Soft Succulent here, the lighter version of Evening Evergreen. I thought the Bumblebee then was easier to see. I thought it stood out more by just me rubbing my fingers over the back of the vellum. So that's what I did, and I do have these extra pieces left. I'm not getting rid of them because I do have an idea of what to use with them, and I'd use these later in one of my projects. So then the For Everything is one of the stamps that came in the kit, and I have a lot of extra ones of those left, the Thanks for Everything. And then the little gems are in the kit, and then these are just little stamps. These are the back. I stamped in Evening Evergreen this whole background, and then I thought since I wanted this to be a 2-color card, I just added some extra Bumblebee flowers around. So yes, it's busy and it has that watercolor background, but I think that it's easier to see this than the sample. And let me show you the sample in a bigger. So you can take your samples, right? So they did suggest, I mean, that's where I got the idea to just stamp on the background. I mean, I thought, wow, that's going to look really busy. But they did it, and it looks cool. This flower looks cool. And they did it all in Evening Evergreen, but I did some Bumblebee. So that's how I just changed up the sample a little bit and I try to use odd numbers of the number of gems, of the gems I put in there. This kit came with envelopes as well, which is really nice. So note card envelopes. They're not fancy envelopes. You can feel free to decorate them, but at least they're envelopes that fit the cards. So we'll put that away. Or actually, I have to still photograph these. So I'll be photographing these. I put these on my Instagram, my Facebook. So if you want to see cards in better detail, I'll write all the products I used as well when I do my photographs. All right, the next, oh, I need to say hi. Sorry, guys. I didn't say hi to you. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Ginger Snap. I love your name. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me good. So I will stop trying to yell. Okay, yeah, Darlene says, the bumblebee looks better on the vellum. Yeah, because you can read it. Good contrast, right? And hi, Joyce. And, oh, good. We have someone joining from Melbourne, Australia, where you don't get Paper Pumpkin there, but you do get our kits collection, which is really nice by Stampin' Up. We have 10 kits in a kits collection. But this subscription service is available. The Paper Pumpkin subscription is available in USA and Canada. But then a few times a year, they do a global kit. So I bet this might be one of the global kits. Let me know if this is one of the global kits, if you've heard anything, Kate, right? That this might be one of the global kits you're able to get. And the reason I think it's a global kit is because the sentiments are in other languages. All right, so moving along, I did this. So I thought this is a really cool vellum background. And I put that on the bumblebee card. And this isn't, you could tell something is Stampin' Up! Cardstock versus the card kit, because Stampin' Up! Cardstock is a little bit thicker, and it's all colored all the way through. So this piece of bumblebee, I do use bumblebee cardstock later for one of my cards, but this one's from the kit. So the kit cards are a little bit thinner than the Stampin' Up! Cards, and Stampin' Up! Cardstock's dyed all the way through. All right, so my idea behind this is I saw this kit, and I immediately said, whoa, they're using too many flowers on here. They're, the designers, that's too many. I can stretch these out. I thought that was kind of busy, that big bouquet of flowers. It's nice, it's beautiful, but I thought I need to share the flowers. Even this vellum background, I maybe can stretch that out. So, there's these vellums and pieces of vellum flowers. Are they vellum flowers? No, they're just paper flowers. And they came with these like tri-sprigs, like you could cut the sprigs into 3. So I thought, well, great. I'll just cut all the sprigs apart and I'll just use some of them, right? So now I can get a lot more cards out of the same supplies. And, Stampin' Up!, I wish you would give us a few extra sheets of these things, even in the kits, even though you try to give us enough supplies to make the cards. But I wish you would also give us a couple extra to make extra projects. But still, I did manage to get 16 projects out of here. In the background, I used Evening Evergreen. I used the Fresh Freesia for these little flowers, this little round stamp. And I used, I think, the Bumblebee, like this is tone-on-tone stamping, meaning I think I used Bumblebee on those, just on top of Bumblebee cardstock. And that's pretty much it. So this is exactly right out of the kit. Nothing new. You don't have to do anything new for this card. This is exactly from the kit. Except that I did cut the vellum in half. But later I did use a full piece of vellum. Right? I did use the full piece later. This thing. But this time I just said, wow, I don't need to use all the vellum. And then I was saving my last gems for the bag. Or maybe I have like only a few gems left. A few of the rhinestones. But I probably will put them on here. The sequins, I mean. Because I have a few left. But I was saving them. I didn't want to put them on every single card. Because I just have I think I have enough left. 3. Yeah, that's it. And that's enough for like our little bag project we'll try to do. See, that's all I have left. I try to use up all my supplies. All right, so again, this is just right out of the kit. Now, because I took that piece of vellum, because I took this one that was on here and cut it in half, look at what I was able to do. I was able to get this whole note card to really pop then. Because I took the vellum and cut it in half and used half for one card, right? I had a nice layer with extra pieces. Now look at all those extra sprigs. Now I'm still not even done with all the sprigs because remember the sprigs were in sets of 3. So you can make 3 things out of this. 3 whole pretty cards out of one set of sprigs and not have such a busy, crazy background there. And then what you do is for the adhesive, what you do is you put the adhesive behind. See, this is kind of a floating background. Because you can see adhesive through the vellum. And I even have vellum adhesive, but even that was showing through. But you can just put the adhesive right behind where it says sending hugs. And then this whole thing sort of floats up. But it stays attached because you have the piece of adhesive right behind there. And that's just the note card. Okay, and I think I have one more card just like the kit. or not just like the kit. One more card inspired by the kit. Well, they're all inspired by the kit. You know what I mean? One more card made like the way that they are in the kit with the little papered chef twist. And then I'm going to get into some 3D projects, and I'm going to get back to my cards that are way out of the box. So this one's just right out of the kit again. And I didn't want to do this whole tie around because this tie around, I thought it would use too much twine. And then you'd have twine if you lift up your card. If you do this way that it says to tie it around, then I would end up having twine inside my card. And that would make my card even bulkier. So I thought, well, I'll just do the little twist of twine behind it like that. So that's what I did. And I had 3 sequins on here, and one must have fallen off. So don't try to put your sequins on the vellum. They do fall off a lot. Try to put your sequins on the paper itself. So somewhere on my table is, extra sequins. So that's all I did for that. Believe it or not, that background just came like that. I mean, isn't that cool? I'll show you how I made backgrounds like this later. So this is like looking like the alcohol ink technique. And that's a lot of really cool background, right? But they gave us a stamp to kind of mimic that. And they're also telling us in this kit that this kit goes with the suite in our annual catalog that uses this alcohol ink technique. So it's telling us that coordinates with, right? It's telling us do more with your paper pumpkin kit and coordinating products. So it gives you more ideas in the back. And there was I don't know where the flyer went. There was here it is. So this is called Expressions in Color. The kit is called Expressions in Color. And it's telling us, here's the flyer. It's saying, Expressions in Ink, Specialty Designer Series Paper, coordinates really well with this kit. Now, I know this has been on back order for a long time in the U.S. I'm not sure about the other countries, but hopefully it's not on back order anymore. Those of you that got my deluxe paper share got some of this in the paper share. And then even I ran out, and I'm waiting on back orders of that paper. I do love that paper. Let's not digress. Let's show you some 3D projects. All right, so 3D projects. Oh, and I did use up, I used up every bit of the twine, all the sequins. I even tried some other things. I didn't end up using these, but I tried doing some little flowers in vellum using my punch. I didn't end up using these flowers. I did some butterflies instead, but I got a couple sprigs left over, and that's all. All right, so we did 4 cards. I'm going to put these off to the side for a moment. Just keeping track of how many things we did. I want to show you what I made with the fancy tag topper punch next. 4 projects I created with this fancy tag topper punch. And here are the 4 projects. So 1 is a bookmark, and then 3 are tag treats. So let me see if I can. I'm trying to always show you things you can do, like how to extend your kit with just a few supplies from the annual catalog. So this is a fancy tag topper punch, and it's just something I use all the time to extend my kits. And you just make the tag treats. I'm showing this in my butterfly boot camp next tonight or today, like later this afternoon. We're gonna make these tag treats in my butterfly boot camp, butterfly brilliance boot camp. But this we've made many times on my channel. Okay, so I used the evening evergreen piece of card, the bumblebee card, and out of 1 card you can get 3 of these tag treats out of 1 card. So you get 2, and then they're 2 inches wide because that's how big the punch is, and you get the 3rd one, which is smaller, and then you just make a different size band. Now for this one, I thought I didn't have enough cardstock. Oops, I'm losing sequins all over the place. I'm definitely have to look for all these missing sequins. Anyway, in this, I didn't have enough. Oh, there's the sequin. Oh, you're a hitchhiker. He's hitchhiking on the string, on the twine here. I didn't have enough cardstock to wrap around the bottom and still use the kit. So what I'm using here, and I use this in several of my projects, is a piece of, I always use this stuff. It's called In Color Designer Series paper. It is really great, and I used it for a lot of matting and layering. And it's just, it's just a great pack. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, it's called, so I use it a lot in these projects. So I took the evening evergreen, and I used a lot of that today for the backgrounds. See, it comes in all the colors. It's called In Color Designer Series paper. You've seen me use the Brights collection on my channel. I use these little packs of paper a lot because they're just really cool. Oh, that's some vellum. All right, so anyway, where was I? So these are all made the same way. Look, I was going to show you what was inside them. So I had a sale. There was a sale on chocolate, and so I've been putting a lot of chocolate in the gifts. And of course, when you mail them to people in the summer, they might melt. So I try to put these in a bag, and hopefully they don't melt. But little Godiva chocolates. This is what I mean by my bumblebee being so juicy. See how it's kind of, I had to like kind of actually smear it to give that old look for the thanks. Oops, because it was so juicy. And then since then I bought a full bumblebee. Okay, lemon Mentos. I like to just show you what's in them. I was trying to match the color, but hey, it's a different kind of yellow, but it's still fun. I might end up putting mint Mentos in here because these, I like to save these lemon colors for my boxes of sunshine. Yeah, I'll just leave that out. It doesn't really match. And then I think I just put the mint Mentos in here. So again, just using bumblebee. Come on, come out, wherever you are. Here you go. These little mini Mentos candies. And just find whatever. I mean, people keep asking me, what are you putting them? Hershey Nuggets. Oops, that's open. I'm going to eat a mint. Can't help myself. I know I'm on YouTube. Can't help myself. If it breaks open like that, you got to eat it. All right. So they're just little chewy mints. All right, so that's that. Now for this one, I just did You Are Amazing in the Evening Evergreen. And there's the rest of my twigs. See, so you cut them in 3, and you get a lot more out of all these, and you can do so much more if you just cut your twigs and use them for many projects. Now, I probably will go back and add what's called in color ombre, or no, in color, not ombre, organdy, sorry, what's the word? I'll go back and add in color organdy ribbon to these. It's sort of a semi-translucent ribbon. I might add it to all these projects before I take the pictures. But what I'm trying to show my subscribers of Paper Pumpkin is how I do like all of these kits as much as possible with the supplies given. Okay, so even though I might add ribbons before I take a picture, you can just do what you have here with your twine and a punch and you're good to go. All right, so now I've shown you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 projects. So I've shown you half my projects. We're going to stop now and do this little alternative project. We're going to take out the stamps, right? And we're going to make a little bag. And I am still chewing. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Debbie J. All right, she said she loves that paper. She's wishing that the alcohol inks were sold separately from the markers. Well, we do have alcohol markers, and you can do the alcohol ink technique with these kinds of alcohol ink stamps like this. So I know what you're saying, though. I hear you. So what I'm going to do is take my little silicone mat, and we're going to make this little project. So these are our new ombre. That's probably where I was mixing up the word ombre with organdy. Organdy is a ribbon, and ombre is a type of bag we have. These are cute little bags. You put little treats inside. In fact, they fit little cards. They fit your cards. You can give someone a card in a bag. So isn't that nice? I'll show you this card later, but isn't that nice? Put it in a bag. All right, so let's put that back down, and let's make this project. So I'm going to put this down, this little silicone mat, and we're going to take out what's called the ombre gift bags. So you get in the pack of gift bags, you get 20 gift bags in a pack. They come in the in colors. One has a little something on it. We'll just use this one. And so they come in soft succulent. Soft succulent would work too, by the way. I mean, anything would really work right now as an in color. Let's make sure I'm using the evening evergreen, or am I using the soft succulent? I have to see if I'm even using soft succulent or evening evergreen. I might be out of soft succulent because I have an in color club. These are the polished pink. Any of them would work right now. So these are probably the evening evergreen ones. That's what I'm thinking. Because I gave away, like everybody in my in color club got a couple of these. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your little stamp and you're going to use your evening evergreen stamping block that came in your kit, and you're going to use this pretty flower. Now, if you notice, this pretty flower matches that pretty flower, right? It's the same design as that pretty flower. Isn't that cool? And it looks almost like the stamp, I think, from the Expressions in Ink Suite, too. So you're going to mount that on. Well, you can do something like that. You could lay it down. You could lay it on your paper and then sort of mount it, right, like that. I'm just using a stamping block D, but use the stamping block that came with your Paper Pumpkin kit. And you're going to take your, which is thinner than this one, right? The ones that come free. When you subscribe, you get a free gift from Stampin' Up! The first month. And it's a stamping block. That's what you get free. Oh, see how juicy this is? So when it's really juicy like that, I had to sort of rub instead of tap, 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 I had to rub. And sometimes I even had to use my other evening evergreen. I think I did. So while I have a bunch of cardstock here, so you know what? It doesn't hurt to just test it, and then I can also use that stamp. And then I'll have another alternative project. So let me see how juicy it is and if it's coming out okay. See, it's really dark. So what I think I did in that case, ooh, already rubbing it, is I think I used this one that my friend made me here. This little, this was like an uninked stamping spot. It was not, it's still evening evergreen, but it's not as juicy. Now, as you use up your stamps, they won't be as juicy. So this one is super juicy. This little stamping blocks when you first get them. Stamping spots, I mean. This is a stamping block, by the way, if I'm mixing up the terms. That's a stamping block. These are called stamping spots. You can buy uninked stamping spots. They don't have any ink on them, and then you use the re-inker. I'm just going up there to do it because there was a little splotch up there. All right, see? I'm just kind of fixing that. That looks cool. So I'm stamping right on the bag. And I'm using the uninked stamping spot one that doesn't have as much ink on it because the other one's so juicy. See, the other one's so juicy, but it's still cool for... But if it's that juicy, what you want to do is use an absorptive piece of paper. This is basic white cardstock. It'll absorb the ink. If you try to use this stuff, this kind of bag doesn't have good ink absorption. These ombre gift bags. You can stamp all over them, but they don't have good ink absorption because they're not made of a coated paper. So you're better off just using a less juicier stamp. Or you can do second generation stamping where you stamp onto something and then the second generation you put it on the bag. So if your stamp is not looking like mine right now, it's because I'm using a duller, this is dull. And you know what I could do is kiss them together. That's what I sometimes do. So this is evening evergreen, see what I'm doing? And I can soak up some ink. See how the uninked stamping spot it can still soak up a lot more ink, so I can get this one not as juicy. So I'm just going to squeeze them together and get some more ink on. This is what happens when you're traveling, you don't have all your inks with you. You actually use the stamping blocks, and then you actually re-ink some stamping spots. They take up a lot less room. Can you imagine me carrying my 60 inks with me? I have more than 60 inks. I have every recently retired color under the sun. Okay, so we need to keep this open, get some sprigs going on. Some little sprigs. I'm just going to take out some cute little stamps that came in here. And that's how I decorated this bag. I just used these see this cute little sprig? And then you use just other little stamping blocks you have, right? Tap, tap, tap. Put some sprigs around. Aren't they cute little sprigs? Oops, that's really dark. See what happened? I just re-inked. That was my uninked stamping spot. Now it's as juicy as the stamping block. So maybe I shouldn't have stamped it that much, right? Okay, we'll just put another sprig down here for good measure. Okay, I'm just decorating the bag. I think I'm done with that color, and I think I'm going to use fresh freesia and some bumblebee for the next two. So we're going to use fresh freesia for the little flower. That's this cute little flower on here. And you got to take the sprig off because I need to use this stamping block here. Tap, tap, tap. Pretty little purple flowers just all over the place. No two bags will look the same. But what's really nice about using this kind of ink as opposed to, if you used alcohol markers, it would have bled right through the bag, right? But I'm using just these dye-based inks, and they're not going to bleed right through the bag. Take that little guy off. And now we need our bumblebee stamping block. Stamping spot, sorry. Stamping spot. That's this one. And I'm going to take this pretty little flower I used on a lot of my projects and just put it on there. Open up the bumblebee. Tap, tap, tap. And just put a bunch of these around. Give it some color. Oops, I went right over the top of that one. That one needs a sprig. Whenever you mess up like that, you just cover it with a sprig. In fact, we can do the rest of these depending on where we put the sprigs. So I saved a few sprigs for this occasion here of putting them on the bag. So there can be one. See how if you mess up, that's where you put your sprig. That's where you glue it, right over the top of that. So you take out this is your multi-purpose glue. And I'm not a fan of those glue dots, guys. These kits come with glue dots. Not a fan of glue dots. So if you can use liquid glue, except the glue dots work better on vellum. See, liquid glue. I had a safety pin. Liquid glue works better on paper, but the vellum, the glue dots work better on vellum. In my humble opinion. See, I just used a safety pin. Now it's gonna, watch it come out like a hurricane. Or no, not a hurricane, because that's not a good analogy for glue, right? It comes out like a, watch it come out like a big old blob. I have other glue here. I might have to switch to another brand of glue. Oh, here we go. There we go. It's coming out, but boy, is that coming out slow. Talk about anticipation. Man, I can't make my viewers wait for this glue. I'm going to use my other brand. I have another brand of glue. I have the tacky glue. I got a giant bottle of that. I'm going to use that. Because you know what? It's coming out. I know that. It's going to come out so much, though. It's like, stop. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably refill. What I like about the Stampin' Up! Glue, the all-purpose glue, is the tiny little nozzle, the tiny fine-tip nozzle. So I think I'm going to dump my tacky glue into that bottle and see what happens. Because I can't really get out to any stores, right? So we're going to put that there to cover up that little thing. And we're going to take the other sprigs. Like I said, I only saved a few sprigs for this. Let's see what we have. That's the same kind of sprig. There's a little purple one. And I don't know if I have any more green ones. So we'll put that one up there last, but we'll do one like that. And purple, fresh freesia, same thing. That's what, you know what I mean. Because when I say purple, it's just one of the shades of, it's the fresh freesia, the new ink color. So you're going to stick that around there. Okay, so now we can do some more stamping around the edges. Now we need the word thanks. So what I did for that is I just used a piece, and we can actually use one of my For Everythings on this bag. So what we want to do is take a little piece of cardstock. And I like to stamp it first because if I mess it up, then I don't bother cutting it. So I'm just going to stamp it first on there. I'm going to take this thanks. Mostly that's what I use the most of because you can thank everybody for everything all the time. Gratitude is a wonderful thing. It makes you feel just as good as it makes everybody else feel. And people love little trinkets and say, oh, that is some juicy stuff there. So maybe we'll use the other one. If yours is so juicy that you can't use it, just use it on a bunch of, just rub it or use it on other stuff first. Color with it, use your blends. Not blends, blending brushes. Get it to be not so juicy. See if that'll work. Oh my goodness, that's bold, but it looks cool. We'll do another one at the bottom. Super bold. Now I would just use the ones, this kit came with, I'm going to put that over some more so you can see how we can make it into a little banner. This kit came with little things to stamp onto, but I'm out of those. And you'll see when I open up the other kit. The full kit. Oh, it came out really nice, but super bold. Like, see, this is a really dark kind of green. Out of the ink colors, out of the 5 ink colors, I'm saying that this one is my least favorite, only because it's so dark. Now, I like ink colors. I mean, I like all the ink colors, but this one is the darkest. They don't come like that, by the way. A friend made that. That was like a traveling ink color on the Stampin' Spots. Okay, I had to step away to get my paper trimmer. Blow on that. You don't want that to be too wet when you're using your paper trimmer. So now you just want the sides to have the same amount on each side. I'm not really measuring. It doesn't really matter. Really, you're just measuring. It just needs to be a little bigger than your sentiment, right? So I'm not measuring anything. I'm just trying to have the same amount of space on each side. So to make a little banner, this is the easiest way to make a banner when you don't have all your punches with you and all the, banner, trio, punch, and all this business. I have every kind of punch in the book. But when you don't have your punches with you, this is the way to make your banner. You just cut, right? Cut into the sides. Little slit. And then you just take that little slit and you just make a triangle. You just meet in the middle. See, that's how you make your banner. Start at the corner, meet in the middle. Instant banner. So that's what I did for the other bag. Okay, and instant banner. But you had to start with the same amount of white space on each side, because then you don't have to worry about centering your banner. Pull that out. Perfect. So here's you're gonna put that on top of that stuff before you add your last little sprig of, you know, the little sprig that's gonna go on top. So here's what we're making. If you just joined in, we're making this little bag underneath here. Something like this. Right? We're just decorating a bag. One of the ombre gift bags. So I put little dimensionals up on there, and we'll put the other sprig up on there. The last sprig I have. And we're going to make that one go in that little white space. Oops, right there. And we're going to hide this little part, this little part here. We don't have to hide it. We can just cut it off, actually. But there's a little place that sort of, and we're going to hide that under, not hide it, but sort of tuck that under there. Maybe something like that. Before we attach this one down. Because what you want to do is use the word thanks to cover any mistakes. So you always want to glue down your other, sort of like your third piece before you put down that final thanks banner, because cover up your mistakes. If there are mistakes, I mean, maybe you're not like me. I make mistakes all the time. You just can't see them on my cards because they've been covered up by then. So, again, we're going to hold this up. Kind of put that under there. Just going to do something like that. So that's perfect. Before I push it down, just make sure it's going to go some there. Now that's cool. And I just love those polished pink sprigs because they really just make the whole thing stand out. A couple little dimensionals. Dimensionals come in your kit too. So do glue dots, but they're the ones I hardly use, but the dimensionals I use all the time. I use them for everything. They really make your projects pop. So that is how to jazz up a gift bag and have a gift bag that you know will look good because it coordinates with everything you're doing. And instead of rubbing on that ink, because I don't know how dry the ink is, I'm just going to turn it around and rub on it. Now you can put cute little things in your bags. So there's project number 17, and we still are on the same kit. And I still have a couple pieces left. So really, I still have this left, which I've embossed. Okay, so I still have stuff left. So you really could have made more than 16 things with this kit. Okay, I said I would show you some more cards and then show you what's in those boxes. So let's make some room here. I know you might be getting dizzy because my camera stand is on this table that I'm working on. So sometimes when I get excited and do a lot of work, then I get the camera shaking. So Debbie says she has a lot of alcohol inks. Caroline is saying, hi, Kim and gang. And she's happy she made it. Diana's here from Arizona. Hey, and Carol's saying she's also from Arizona. And Deb is saying she signed up for Paper Pumpkin. Oh, cool. So she's saying is the first, even though you got it, it doesn't matter when you sign up after June 10th, Deb, right? You're going to not get the June kit. You're going to get the July kit, no matter when. If you sign up June 11th until July 10th, it doesn't matter. One day after June 10th, you're getting the July kit because they have to have a cutoff date. Otherwise, right? Everyone couldn't figure it out, the system. They don't just keep sending extra kits. So hi, Betty, and I'm glad you're catching me live too. And hi, Ann from Massachusetts. All right, so now we are going back to showing you cards. I was going to do some cards and then show you the 3D boxes. All right, so cards. So I'm thinking, again, don't use all that vellum in the background. You can get more out of it. But I have this piece left to do something with. So what I did for this is I just took that same card right out of the kit. And I just took some of those sprigs and the vellum and I just did a couple little bumblebee little flowers on top and a little thing on the bottom. Okay, and there's my little, it fell off or something. I don't know what it's doing under there. There's a sequin under there. Okay, so that's one card. Now then I did this. Now I'm going to jazz it up now. Taking the same card, but I chopped a piece off, okay? Chopped a piece off so I get a square card. The reason I wanted a square card is because I thought this butterfly, I'm going to call it my sort of tie-dye butterfly, it went more with a square card, I thought, for this shape. So I did thanks for everything. So for this card, I did a few things. I used just the card from the kit, nothing more, chopped a piece off. That was it, chopped a piece off to make it shorter. I probably have that piece saved somewhere. Or maybe I actually used those pieces. I used the extra pieces on other card elements. So if you're in my butterfly boot camp, or everybody's in it, if you're on YouTube and you're watching my butterfly boot camp, which is free to everybody, and then you can get a kit as well. In the last video, I showed you how to use the blender pens to color butterflies. And now later tonight or today, depending on when I get back on, I'm going to be taking the butterflies we colored there, and I colored some more, and I'm going to be showing you how to assemble a card using the butterflies from those projects. Well, I decided while I was coloring butterflies last night, or probably this morning, in the wee hours of the morning, I was coloring butterflies for my Butterfly Brilliance Bootcamp, and I had the idea of why not color them using the blender pens to be the colors of this project. So I used Fresh Freesia, Polished Pink, Evening Evergreen, and Bumblebee, and colored some, they kind of look like tie-dyed butterflies, and then I put some Wink Stella on them. So these butterflies, if you're not familiar with the stamp set, it's in the annual catalog, and it's called Butterfly Brilliance. And it doesn't even have a sentiment or anything. It's just a bunch of butterflies that are on this super cool, I don't have the case right now, this super cool like background stamp. So that's how I made these. And then I cut them out. Okay, so that's a square card. I embossed this piece using the woven textures. Here you go. Woven threads. Oh boy, I already forgot the name of it. Woven 3D texture embossing folder or something like that. But this is a 3D embossing folder, and I used this for a few of the cards. So that's how I got this little piece back there. And you saw how I made the banner just with my paper trimmer. And then this little for everything, which I can use on the bag because I have a few of those left. That's just right from the kit. And I can add those to my bags too. Thanks for everything to my bags if I want. But I've already, they were laying here a minute ago, but I've already lost them. All right, so that's that card. Now, keeping with the butterflies, I'll show you my next butterfly card. So I did, again, I was coloring butterflies. This is Polished Pink and Bumblebee. That's just a 2-color butterfly. Now, what I did for this background, I had a lot of fun with this background. It came out like a hot mess, I thought. When I was working on it at the beginning, oops, I'm probably inking up the back of this because I didn't clean my stamp. All right, so this stamp here, here's the stamp. This is it. I thought, there's no way. And it really did not look nice when I started using it. It just looked like a puke. I mean, really, honestly. But then as I did more and more, it got better and better. So don't give up on your background, okay? If you start using the stamp, just keep on going. Don't give up. Because at the end, it does come out okay. You know, I just did the bumblebee all around there. And then I did some polished pink. And then I did some fresh freesia to fill in the spots. And if I had my markers with me, I could even fill in, I'd probably use the blends to fill in these little gaps. But I didn't want to stamp again over theirs because I was trying to go for that whole watercolor look. Then I used some embossing on this here. And then to make this stand up, remember how earlier, if you just came into my video, you might not have seen that earlier in this video, I showed how to make this thanks stand out. And I was talking about, sorry, I better not get away from the microphone. Okay, or the internal microphone. I was talking about making these stand out. I said I'm not a fan because you can't really read them. But for this little technique, I took a piece of cardstock, used the glue dot, stuck it on there, and now it's away from the background. So you can read the thanks really easily. And you can read this one easily because I colored it with Bumblebee. Okay, so that's how I did that card. And again, blending brushes. So I used blending, oops, let me put this over there. I used blender pens, sorry, not blending brushes. Sorry if I said blending brushes earlier, because there's a lot of vocabulary and sometimes I use, okay. Blender pens is what I used. Here, I'm gonna hold the box up so you're not confused. You get 3 in a box, they're all the same, and they have this like sort of magical solution in them, and you sort of blend the colors, and that's how I made these butterflies, by blending the colors in there. Now this one's a super heavy duty card. It's heavy because now what I did is at some point I ran out of the cards that came in the kit. So I was making my own cards. Now I used this designer series paper again, the in color designer series paper for that little matting in the background. And then this was just a piece of basic white cardstock I transformed. Now here I'm using the Fresh Freesia cardstock. Okay, so how can you tell the difference between our cardstock and the cardstock from the kit? Okay, it's the same. I mean, they're using the same color formula, but look at that. I mean, the one on the right is the Stampin' Up! Cardstock. Now, it's dyed all the way through. So you want to layer. You want to add an extra layer of Whisper White, or sorry, Basic White inside there, inside the middle. You want to add that extra layer. But that's how you can tell. Look at that. It's dyed all the way through. Fresh freesia. When you use a card from the kit, there's white in the inside. See? Here, let me just open that up so you can see. So that's why when you hold this card here, I mean, not just because it's wider, but this is heavy duty. This is like a thick, heavy card. I'm going to have to use an extra stamp on this card. An extra 20 cents. It's going to go over the ounce. This is not. This is going to be a 55-cent stamp, and this is going to be a 75-cent stamp because the extra ounce is 20 cents. That's in the U.S. So just so you know. Okay, now where were we? We are on this one. I'm still embossing and showing you that. I'm still embossing. Now this time I decided to emboss the flower itself. What flower, you ask? The flower that I showed you here. The flower that's part of the kit. I decided to make the flower stand out more because it's on a busy background or just on any background. I just decided to emboss the flower to see how the vellum would look embossed. And it came out cool, but then I thought, then I stuck it on a background that wasn't embossed, and then I was like, well, now it looks out of place. So then I went and embossed every layer. So, and then I started embossing the little sprigs too. So I embossed darn everything here. I embossed this, I embossed this, I embossed these little things. I think I even embossed that little strip in the background. So this is a totally layered embossed card, super heavy. Again, heavy because it's using fresh freesia, and it's using it's using that fresh freesia, and as opposed to this one. Craft with Sharon is saying bad. I hope bad as in good, Sharon, or bad reception. I know I'm getting bad, what's it called? Bad internet. I do have bad internet. That is true. It might be skipping the bad internet. Oh, and hi Sharon, Susan, Sheila, and Nola. Hey, Nola's here. You're always here. You always find me, even though I don't announce. Oh, Ann, I said Ann from Gloucester. Yeah, I already said hi to Ann earlier. Okay. So anyway, that's how I got this card. It's all embossed. And I think I have one more card to show you. Now here's when I took this background, and I finally used it as a whole background. But I wanted to just go for sort of a two-color card, meaning this is only Bumblebee, but not the Bumblebee card that came in the kit. Again, not that, see? It's the Stampin' Up! Bumblebee cardstock. It's the same color, but look, it's dyed all the way through. So this is a heavy-duty card, very heavy. Extra butterfly, using Wink Stella. I used the blender pens, and I used Soft Succulent and Bumblebee, and I just blended a butterfly using the blender pens. Just one sprig, just one little background over the top. I put the background on top of a piece of Bumblebee. See how I did that? And to hide the adhesive, I hid the adhesive behind this butterfly, behind this sentiment, and wherever I could hide this adhesive. I couldn't hide it all. I needed some in the middle for reinforcement, so that part's not hidden. But it doesn't really matter. You can't really tell. I mean, it's actually, I used the Seal Plus, and surprisingly, the Stampin' Seal Plus, it didn't really look bad back there. So that's where, but this, I put the Bumblebee in this thing, and then I put it on Bumblebee background, and I thought, well, it needs to pop. So that's when I took that piece of Evening Evergreen right here, and I put that piece of Designer Series paper behind there to make it really pop. But you got the 3D going on, you got the, right, everything going on. So that's one sprig, because that's all I had left. I think I'm done all my cards now. So I've shown you all 16 projects. Here are the last two, and we'll open them. I mean, I showed them to you as far as you saw the outsides of these. So now what's left in this video is we're going to take the twine off. This is twine, the Evening Evergreen twine. And we are going to take it off and show you what's inside these little boxes. This, by the way, if you're in the Butterfly Brilliance boot camp, you see that I put butterflies on everything. Absolutely everything. So where am I getting the butterflies? From the Brilliant Wings dies. It's a bundle. So the Brilliant Wings dies. And then I used the blender pens to color another little tie-dye butterfly that I cut out of basic white cardstock. These butterflies are easy to cut out of metallic cardstock as well. Yoop. Here we go. There's one I made with the You Are Amazing project kit, that same kind of butterfly. So you can cut them out in metallic, or you can cut them out in just paper, and you can just do something like this. Now, what is this project? This is a box out of a card. Wait, no, a card out of a box. Hold on. A box out of a card. It's a box made from a card. It is one of the cards. It is the top and the bottom of it's the front and the back of the card, and I made a box out of it. That's all this is. Is that cool or what? This watercolor background or with this alcohol ink background. Okay, now here's what I'm calling my box of thanks. You are amazing. Okay, now here's what you do with those extra vellum pieces that you just don't feel like messing with, right? Because you got to use glue dots and you got to try to make them stand out. Here's an idea of what to do with all your little extra vellum pieces. You make someone a box of thanks. As I open up the little box, it says, you are amazing. And it says, thanks, merci, danke. Isn't that cool? So you're giving them a little box of thanks in different languages. And it comes out of the box. And they fit in there perfectly at a little angle. I think this was an inch. It might have been 7/8 of an inch. Or it could have been an inch scoring on the sides. And I put these little nail files. And where did I get these? I should like to show you little things. I found these at Dollar Tree. These are emery boards. Butterfly emery boards. Okay, they come in a thing like this. Oops, it's a hitchhiker from another kit. Let me go over there. It comes in a little thing like this. Sassy and chic nail grooming kit, Dollar Tree. You get 4 or 5 of these little nail files. You get this really cool one. And I tried to put this in there too. I tried to put this in the You Are Amazing treat box as well. But this one when it fits. So I can make a nail file holder. And those of you that took my scan and cut course know how to make nail file holders from using Canvas Workspace. So you can make nail file holders for any size nail file using that SVG file that you designed using the artboard in the Canvas Workspace course. If you did. But if you don't know what I'm talking about and you don't have a scan and cut, just know that I can also make boxes, or I've made boxes for nail files on YouTube without using any machines, where you just score the sides of the paper. But I didn't have enough of those to do it with. I only have a few of this one, right? I have a lot of this one. Okay, last box. Last box before I open the kit. So I put those in there. Okay, put those in there. I put my little choo-choo-choo boxes of thanks. I think that's going to be fun for someone to open. Plus, it makes me not have to deal with the darn little glue dots. Now, glue dots are usually not that bad, but the smaller they are, they're bad. This is called a Love You Always treat box. I stamped onto Bumblebee cardstock for this one and cut out a little piece. I used that fun flower from one of the cards, and I did my own little tie-dye alcohol ink background using that stamp that I showed you here, using fresh freesia and bumblebee, fresh freesia bumblebee. I'm going to take off the twine because this Love You Always treat box, ooh, it got on the side, but that looks kind of cool. I think I'm going to go for it and just keep decorating the sides now that it got on there anyway. I had a sticky note on this side to keep it from, and to mask it off while I was stamping, but I forgot to put I didn't put anything on that side. Anyway, these are going to retire soon, and these are brilliant. These are called Love You Always treat boxes. They're going to retire because they're part of the January to June mini catalog, so June 30th they'll be retiring. And they're just little fun treat boxes. They slide, and you can put so much in them. So here's what I put in there. I put the two more little nail files with the butterflies, and I put some tea. And if you're in my Butterfly Brilliance boot camp, you probably got some of this tea. This was cool. I use this for my boxes of sunshine too. Okay, so different teas and then some Godiva chocolates. So you can see how much you can fit in one of these Love You Always treat boxes. A lot of stuff. So you can put a lot more stuff in this. And lip balm works good in these. So if I had some lip balms, I'd throw that in there. And I might put some more little thank yous in there. In the vellum. Like even in other languages, they'd be fun to use in there. Or if you know someone that speaks the other languages, of course, make them a card. That would be fun too, to make them a card out of that. All right, so what's in a typical paper pumpkin? What's in a kit? So that's what I'm about to do last, is show you what comes in a paper pumpkin kit. Now you don't always get a card kit, but about 9 to 10 months a year, you get card kits, whether they're note cards or full cards. A couple times a year, you get 3D packaging kits, like around Halloween time or Valentine's Day time, you get like kits that are with packaging. And then once a year, you usually get like a home decor kit, which is some kind of like calendar. There was a wreath before, or home decor. You never know what you're going to get. This little guy came off of something. You never know what you're going to get in your kits. So you just have to be surprised. You gotta like surprises to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. And some people say, well, I don't want to subscribe because I want to know what comes in the kit. Well, then Paper Pumpkin is not for you. Don't even try to get me to tell you what's in the kit. I can't tell you what's in the kit. All they do is give us one little hint. Like they told us July is called Adventure Awaits, that it's a camping theme, an outdoor mountain type of camping theme, and that it's going to be cards. That's all they told us. That's all I know. You can't get any more out of me. But the subscription is $22, right? And it's includes shipping. So, I mean, how great of a deal is that? And you saw all that I made for that, $22. Okay, so this is a full kit. Look at the pretty box. It doesn't always come in a pretty box. A couple times a year you get a special kit. This is a special kit because it came in a pretty box. So a few times a year we get a special kit. Now this one is also special for this reason, that you get 2 Stampin' spots. You usually don't get 2 inks, right? You usually just get 1 color of ink with your kit. You get the stamps. This is the stamps. See, I'm not going to use these because my team member, she was asking me for an extra kit, but also I had already offered it as a prize to my host code drawing recipient who hasn't got back to me yet. So I have 2 people want this kit because they can't get it anymore. I mean, they can get the refill, but they can't really get this kit. And so I am going to say, I'm not going to use these, but that's what comes in there. And so I'm going to open this though, because I definitely want to show you how cool it is. Usually we get this like teal color of tissue paper, but this time it is white tissue paper because the teal wouldn't go with that. So this is when you buy a refill, which are $10 in our website, and they should be available Monday, but I can't promise because we never know which kits are going to have refills, right? They have to wait till the second billing, and then the following Monday after the second billing is when they usually put them on the website. But we don't know for sure if they're going to have a refill. But if you get a refill, it's everything, but you don't get the Stampin' spots again and the stamps again, right? Or the stamping block was your free gift with your first month. All you're getting is this. This is your refill. This was what you would get in the refill. So you got your instructions. And like I said, they're all in color now. And you have all your supplies for making 9 cards. You don't have to make the cards the way they are. Nice piece of cardboard. I saved this. This is a good shim for a big shot. Like sometimes you need a shim to get something just right. It fits in a big shot well. And it's also good for packing. Look at these beautiful vellum pieces. Gorgeous vellum. Here, let me flip all this over. Flip. Oh, there's those dreaded. Oh, there's my for everything I was looking for. These are dreaded glue dots. All right. And then you get, but you need glue dots if that's all you have. Try to use liquid adhesive when you can. Glue dots work, but put it on the paper first. You get sequins, awesome Stampin' dimensionals. These are great. And you get your twine. I'm just going to put all that I'm putting this in a bag with all that, my glue dots. And I'm putting, okay, and then you get your envelopes. So this one had 3 note card envelopes, and it had 6 white envelopes. These are the A2 card size. And then it has these 3 pieces. That evening evergreen, which I think is like, it's either a shade of hue of evening evergreen, but it also looks like it could be soft succulent. But it doesn't say that soft succulent's one of the colors. You get this for the stamping. That's where I put those for everything's on. You get 3 pieces of vellum, which are gorgeous, and you saw how I layered those onto cards. You get 3 of these cards, which you saw how I made one of them into a box. Okay. And oh, I love these. Now, see, why don't they give us more of these? Stampin' Up, I need to just make suggestions. These are awesome, and we just could have used like 10 extra sheets just for stuff, just to put in our cute little bags and things. So, by the way, you save the insides of these. You can use them for stencils. You can take your blending brushes. Hey, here's a blending brush. You can take out the sprigs, right? Let me show you the back of them to show you what I mean. Save this because it makes a good stencil. Right? You use your blending brush with it, and you can make cool backgrounds for your cards. Okay, and you saw how I used those. There's the 3 note cards. These are the evening evergreen. One thing I like to do when I get out the kit is, you see these little nibs? They drive me crazy. So I go like this, and I cut them off. Because these kind of cards, because this isn't the regular cardstock, they kind of come out of a big machine or something. So there's little nibs where they peel them apart. And I just kind of go like that. But someone said, just use a nail file. Hey, we can use our butterfly nail files. our butterfly emery boards to get rid of these little extra nibs. Okay, these beautiful things backed in, these beautiful shapes to stamp onto, backed in evening evergreen. Super cool. This is what I'd used for thanks. I thought I had more of, I didn't get 2 sheets in my first kit, or I must have lost a sheet or accidentally thrown it out. Because otherwise I was not having to make all my own banners if I saw all these. I'm thinking they might have given me an extra one of these in here because my last kit didn't have 2 sheets of these. I mean, you don't need it, right? Because there's only 9 cards. So I'm thinking they just gave me an extra sheet. Well, whoever's getting this kit's getting the extra sheet. And then you get your bumblebee cards. Oop, and I'm not done. Now I got the vellum. Okay, we'll put the vellum here. And then we're done. Okay, so there's the vellum, like that. Okay, isn't that cool? So I'm thinking this is going to be one of the global kits. That's why I think it will be available, because when you see things in different languages, they usually make it a global kit. But we'll see. I mean, I can't speak for what they're going to do as a surprise for anyone, right? So Debbie Jorgensen says, Kim, your head must just be nonstop buzzing with ideas. Yeah, pretty much. I do. When I do sleep, I still think about, what else can I make with this kit? I mean, I really do. Because everything you'll see on my channels, well, not everything, but I'll tell you if I'm inspired by someone else or original. And all your stuff you saw today is original. I mean, it might have been inspired by the instructions, but it's original projects I just came up with. But yeah, my head does spin with ideas. I could have done so much more if I had more supplies in there, right? Deborah L is saying hello from Utah. Sheila loves the box that the kit came in. Yes, it is cool. And Deborah C came from California to see this. And Dolores is here saying hello. Oh, I don't want to leave out Kevin. Dolores and Kevin. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching today. I hope that you were inspired by the projects that you saw with this month's Paper Pumpkin kit. I hope you'll take out your kit, give it a try, do some different things with it, or just making it the way that the kit came, just the way you saw it, will give you crafty mojo. Just by making what's in the kit and the way you see it is going to get your creative juices flowing. You're going to feel good, and then the people you give your projects to are going to feel good. So make some crafts, use your kit, and have a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef, and we'll see you later tonight in Butterfly Boot Camp if you choose to come by. I will be on YouTube sharing the cards sharing this card. I'll be sharing this card here with the Butterfly Boot Camp. That's the next one we're going to put together. And I'm also going to share in slow motion how to create the treat holders that we talked about last time. And I'm also going to do a tag treat in the Butterfly Boot Camp, because that is something where I go through every step of how to make things, and we'll be making the tag treats I showed you earlier. So come by if you want to check that out. Free to the world. It'll just be on YouTube. And just, if you're not getting notified, just click the bell to be notified of my upcoming videos. That's how you'll be notified by YouTube. That's all for now. This is the Papered Chef. Thank you for joining me today.